Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Triple H shared behind-the-scenes footage of a major star's debut last week, ahead of tonight's edition of WWE Raw. The upcoming show of the Red Brand will air live from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Penta debuted with the Stanford-based promotion last week and defeated Chad Gable in a singles match. The former AEW star's first-ever appearance with the company went viral, and Triple H took to social media ahead of WWE Raw to share some unseen footage preceding the occasion. The King of Kings walked through Penta's entrance ahead of his debut and provided some insight on how he wanted the veteran to be presented on television. He stays here for a minute before he walks, and now that is the backdrop of him walking. Like, as you are walking, he is going to have that firewall behind you, he said. From 030 to 038, Penta was in All Elite Wrestling for several years along with his brother, Rey Fenix. The duo were known as the Lucha Brothers in the promotion and are former AEW World Tag Team Champions. Fenix remains on the Jacksonville-based company's roster for now, as there has been injury time added to his contract. Vince Russo believes Triple H has a clear WWE target audience in mind. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo recently stated that Triple H was booking for the hardcore wrestling audience. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Writing with Russo, the veteran discussed the cold open for the debut episode of Raw on Netflix earlier this month. Russo noted that the game used words like babyface and heel, and suggested that it meant he was booking for hardcore wrestling fans. Triple H's little speech about using babyfaces and heel phrases, that little speech, he just came right out and said, "We are booking for that hardcore community. That's who we're booking for. We are not booking for casual fans." He said it. That's what that little speech was. They know what we are. They know about babyfaces and heels. He made it clear that is who we're booking for. 442 to 509. Triple H currently serves as WWE's Chief Content Officer and has helped guide the company to a lot of success as of late. It will be fascinating to see what the promotion has planned on the road to WWE Royal Rumble next month. It was a moment that had the wrestling world buzzing. An unexpected debut on WWE Raw that sent shockwaves throughout the entire company. Fans had been speculating for weeks about who would join the ranks of the Monday Night roster, but nobody saw this one coming. As WWE's Chief Content Officer, Triple H has always prided himself on creating unforgettable moments, and this one would go down in history as one of the most electrifying surprises. The night had started like any other. Raw had been building to a climactic showdown between two of the company's top stars, and fans were eager to see what was next. The crowd at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, was electric, ready for action. But little did they know, the show was about to take an unprecedented turn. As the lights dimmed and the unmistakable opening chords of a familiar theme song echoed throughout the arena, the crowd went silent for a split second before erupting into deafening cheers. There, standing in the center of the ring, was someone no one had expected. Someone whose very presence had the ability to change the landscape of WWE Raw forever. The camera zoomed in on the ring as the WWE Universe collectively tried to process what they were seeing. It was a debut of a magnitude that even seasoned wrestling fans couldn't have predicted. The superstar had walked into the arena under a hooded cloak, their identity hidden from a live audience, creating an air of mystery and intrigue. But as the cloak was slowly removed, the arena exploded. Standing before them was none other than Jacob Fatu, a towering figure in professional wrestling, known for his dominance in the independent scene and his undeniable athleticism. Fatu, a member of the legendary Anoa'i family, was a fresh face to most WWE fans who hadn't followed his work outside the company. But those who did were in for a treat. His debut was monumental, not only because of his talent but because of the bloodline connection to Roman Reigns and the Usos. For weeks, rumors had swirled about the possibility of Fatu making his way to WWE, but nothing had been confirmed. There were murmurs backstage about Triple H's interest in adding more depth to the Samoan Dynasty faction within WWE. And now here he was. The fans, most of whom were completely unaware of the behind-the-scenes developments, were left speechless. Jacob Fatu wasn't just any debutante. He was a game changer. As soon as the crowd's cheers died down, the unmistakable voice of Triple H echoed over the PA system. "Tonight, we don't just celebrate a debut. We celebrate the next chapter in WWE history," he said, his voice commanding. The camera shifted to the backstage area, where Triple H stood with a wide grin on his face. "And you're about to see something no one has seen before. Unseen footage. The moment Jacob Fatu made his decision to come to WWE. The lights cut out completely, and the screen was filled with grainy footage from behind the scenes. It was clear this was something never intended for public viewing, but Triple H had decided the fans deserved to see it. The footage began with a close-up shot of Jacob Fatu standing in a dark room. He was alone, his fists clenched, his jaw set in determination. The scene was raw, unpolished, and the weight of his decision hung in the air like a thunderstorm. The camera shifted to show a moment of conversation between Fatu and Triple H. The two men stood face to face, a level of respect in their exchange, but the tension in the room was palpable. "You know what this means, right?" Triple H asked, his voice calm yet serious. Fatu nodded slowly. "I know what I'm walking into, but I'm ready. I'm ready to make my own legacy. Not just live in the shadow of the bloodline, but build my own." Triple H smiled, a glint of pride in his eyes. "That's what I want to hear. You've got the heart, the ability, and the heritage. But it's your time now. Raw is your canvas. Go paint the masterpiece." The camera angle changed, showing the final moments before Fatu stepped into the arena that night. He could be seen preparing in a locker room, taking a deep breath, his fingers brushing over his trunks before he tightened them. His determination was evident. This wasn't just a debut. This was the beginning of something massive. As the footage continued, it shifted to the exact moment he stepped through the curtains on Raw. The crowd's energy was electric, and Fatu soaked in every second, not just as a wrestler, but as someone who had come to prove a point. The roar of the audience was so loud it almost drowned out the sound of his entrance music. What followed next was unexpected. The lights flickered, and within moments, the WWE champion Roman Reigns appeared on the stage. Standing alongside the Usos, the bloodline was in full force. Reigns nodded to Fatu, his expression unreadable, and then gave a subtle thumbs up. The tension in the ring escalated. Was this a show of unity, or was it a challenge? Fans speculated for days as to whether this was the beginning of a new chapter for the bloodline, or if it marked the emergence of a new leader in the family. Would Fatu align himself with Reigns and the Usos, or was he here to create his own destiny? And then, as Fatu prepared to speak, Triple H's voice boomed through the speakers once again. That's the power of a major debut, unpredictable and relentless. What happens next is anyone's guess. Jacob Fatu is here to make a statement. The question is, what will the statement be? The footage ended with a cliffhanger, leaving fans in anticipation for what was to come next. Triple H's decision to reveal the behind-the-scenes moment made the debut even more compelling. It wasn't just about the athlete stepping into the ring. It was about the choice, the mentality, and the legacy that Jacob Fatu hoped to create in the most prestigious wrestling company in the world. As Raw went off the air that night, fans were left buzzing, eagerly awaiting the next chapter. Jacob Fatu's debut wasn't just a one-off surprise. It was the beginning of a new era. A wave had been created, and everyone in WWE, from the fans to the locker room, could feel it. The era of Fatu had officially begun. And as Triple H's cryptic final words echoed in the arena, the game has changed. Now, watch closely. It was clear that the future of WWE Raw was set to look very different in the months ahead. The unseen footage wasn't just a look into the past. It was a glimpse into the future, and it had fans on the edge of their seats, wondering just what kind of legacy Jacob Fatu would leave behind.